Hello, we're back here on a Monday, Monday Market 15, the 15-minute show that takes way more time than we absolutely necessary. Rob Morales, RCO Network, here with my co-host, the bright, the beautiful, and the one and only in a hat today, Ashley Perkins there. Oh, that's the wrong one.
That's not Ashley Perkins.
There we go. And Ashley, I'll let you go ahead and introduce our guest today. Again, he's back in action.
Yes, so I thought it was very important. I don't know if you watched last week's show, but it was super awesome. We had so many more questions to ask you, JJ. So thank you for coming back for part 2. And I believe there might even be a part 3 at some point. We're super excited to have you back. So from the past week, we've had a plethora of people ask a series of questions about solar. They want to be properly educated.
They want to be properly prepared.
Yes, they do want to be properly prepared to
preparation.
prevent poor performance. No. So making poor financial decisions, and really it's just understanding it. So thank you for coming on our show again. You're
Not a
super
problem.
awesome.
Appreciate the opportunity.
Where would we start?
Yeah, so JJ, you are, again, you're from?
I'm the district manager at Our World Energy, a local solar company, been in business for over about 10 years now. So we're here just to help the community, making sure that they understand solar. It benefits pretty much everybody if it's explained properly.
Back to you, Ashley.
Oh, so I mean, I have so many questions.
I know.
Okay.
We got to get started.
So solar panels. I purchased a home with solar panels. And man, oh man, and I'm in title. So, being in real estate title, the title company actually has to deal with the transfer of the solar panels. It's actually like I don't want to say a bill of sale because they were leasing it. So I had to actually be approved to lease the solar panels from the original owner of the home. I had to assume their lease. It was pretty confusing and I really didn't understand it. I'm still taking the time, but through the title company, I learned a lot of how we do it, and they really do. I mean, we really do a good job at, getting that transfer taken care of. But it is a long process. So, and I know that you told me that you had purchased a home with solar panels. I don't know were they bought or leased.
They were actually on a purchase, so I inherited a purchase versus your lease. But more than anything else, it's a matter of expectation. Mm-hmm. The realtor that we dealt with actually explained to us, "Hey, this house has solar panels on them. Is it something you want to consider?" And at that point, I asked him the pros and cons because beforehand, it was actually before I even entered the solar industry. So I was sitting there saying, what do you mean it has solar panels already on it? He walked me through it. Fortunately, my real estate agent at the time was very educated about solar. He had solar on his own house, and he explained to me how the transition was going to work. So it was similar to like your situation. It was a very clean, easy transition.
Except I didn't buy it from a real estate agent. I bought it through hard money, so I didn't have an agent to explain any of that. And, Robert being here, he's our handsome real estate agent over there.
Yes,
well, I'm going to turn it to you for a second. Like being an agent, I mean, you look at all these homes that have solar panels. Do you feel that you are properly educated to sell somebody a home with solar panels?
No, I think anybody that has or is able to articulate the solar process is somebody who's had it. I mean, it's overwhelming as far as like understanding each individual lease because they're all different. I mean, the nice part about real estate, the purchase contract, it's pretty uniform. So if somebody submits a contract, I already know the terms of the contract, how to get away with certain things and how to like push for other items on that contract when it comes to negotiations. When it comes to solar leases, they're all different depending on the leasing person or the leasing agent. So you have to read through all the fine print. Most of the time, I would say the questions, and you can fill in too, JJ, is like, how do I get out of this lease or how can I transfer it? How do I, I'm selling my house. I need to get out of this situation.
The first thing anybody must understand are the 3 characters of when you're inheriting
3 characters.
When you're actually taking over a solar project. First is the technology that you're inheriting.
Yeah.
Because solar technology has changed so much in the last 5 years. Technology that 5 years ago was great is obsolete today. Then you have to take in consideration degradation, which is just the wear and tear of the panels. Mm-hmm. What were they to start with and where will they be at now? But the biggest thing that everybody has to take in consideration when they're buying the new house is what the other person used to do. Because my house and the way we use electricity is completely different than the way Ashley uses electricity, the way you'll use electricity, Robert. So what happens is everybody thinks that their system is failing them. No, it worked great for the previous person. Each system is like a fingerprint. It may look the same, but literally they're all a little bit different. I use different power at different times of the day because my wife is a nurse.
Yeah.
She sleeps during the daytime and works at night. So we have to keep my house cool because if she doesn't get her rest, people die.
I bet.
And it's one of those things that
At least you know that.
So it's more important that I can literally making sure that my house stays cool. So I knew I had to put more panels on my house. I bought my house from a retired family. They 80 years old, they didn't use much power versus me. I've got a brand new child, everything else, lights staying on, wife has to stay cool. We're going to use twice as much of electricity. So
Well, people can just walk around naked all day. They're fine.
that's
Ashley
true.
does that a lot. I mean,
When the boys aren't home.
If you only knew.
And it's one of those things that's why everybody's system has to be looked at with where was it starting at? Where is it starting at? And you can't expect it to perform the same way for you as it did the other person because your situation isn't correct. But then the biggest thing is that people don't realize that if the system was built for one person, we can modify that and add more panels to it to make it cost effective for you.
Oh.
So your company will modify it. So if I already have panels, I'm paying Tesla. Tesla is really just my financer.
Correct.
Out of it, and I'm going, I need more. I've got a lot of boys. Everyone's hot. I'm like Katy Perry over here. I'm hot and cold. So you're able to add additional ones. How do you finance that though? You have to do a separate type of financing?
Yes, it actually,
Okay.
we have about, I think, 7 different financial
7,
institutions.
okay.
We have literally a financial institution that can finance solar systems for anything from a mobile home all the way to a mansion. So there is not a person that will be literally left in the dark when it comes to solar. We have opportunities for everybody. Most credit portfolios, we can work with most of them.
Okay.
The thing about it more than anything else is we need to get the information.
Right.
We need how much power you're currently using. And at that point, we can design the system to meet your needs.
So I had to have a call recently with APS because and in Arizona, I know a lot of people outside of Arizona watch this. So in Arizona, we have APS and SRP. Those are our 2 major power companies.
Utility company.
Or utility, companies. And APS, I needed a breakdown, like how many kilowatts is my solar producing, where am I at, what time of the day am I using this, and really educate myself to understand. And now I'm thinking I probably will need to modify it.
Most people do. Most people, as their lives will change, especially your children getting older, and you'll have more electronic draw from your house itself,
me
you're
when it
you're going to need more power. But more than anything,
Yeah,
She's
she
got
will.
boys.
Yeah.
She's
You will
got-
need more
she's got
power.
a lot of boys.
it's one of those things that everything we do is based on electronics these days. Everything's based on electricity. But the most important thing, whether it's APS or SRP, there's ways that everybody can save money with solar. It's just the way you approach it. APS and SRP have 2 different types of programs. APS is a replacement program.
Oh,
When
okay.
when you go to solar with APS, we are basically severing your relationship. They're going to be the, excuse the expression, the redheaded stepchild
They
of the
are, yeah.
family. We're not going to associate them anymore because APS is the mob. They're charging you way too much money for the power that they're giving you, based on old nuclear technology.
In honor of that, Ashley's
guys
wearing
say that.
red today because he's the redheaded stepchild. Or blonde with red. Sorry.
SRP is a partnership program.
Oh.
SRP is a program where they literally say, hey, thank you for going solar. We're going to give you a dramatic discounted rate on your kilowatts for the power that you get from us. APS doesn't do that.
I'm throwing APS under the bus because they said that they're partners,
They,
which I call BS on it anyway.
it's
Well,
all-
I'd play a marketing term more than anything else.
It's
but-
pure semantics of how they want to call
Yeah,
themselves.
yeah,
They can't call themselves the ugly stepfather that's taking all your money because nobody would ever buy
No,
anything
they
from them.
Totally are. Like one month I had my APS was
Not that we're
negative
sharing
60
disparaging
something.
remarks about anybody.
No, but it was like I'm trying to understand it because
Yeah.
in the beginning my APS was high, but then I realized like I wasn't using my solar properly because my panel was jacked, and then we fixed it, and then we have what is that thing called like a where it runs through almost kind of like the internet. It's called a.
You have the conduit, which is the wiring right
Yeah,
now.
so but it's like some sort of box. It'll come to me.
The combiner box.
Yes. Okay. There. So that was jacked up. So we were actually borrowing or using like somebody else. I don't know. It was like
Basically what was happening is your system wasn't producing power. So instead of you getting power directly from your roof, you were still buying it from APS,
Yeah.
which defeats the purpose of solar.
Yeah, no
Especially
shit.
you don't buy power exceptions from APS exception at night when there is no sun.
Right.
At a discounted off-peak rate. You don't want to ever buy power from them on peak because they're charging you so much.
So now you've already confused our audience, and I haven't. I've done this, and this is why we're having this conversation. So last week when I called APS, I'm like, so the other month that was negative $64. So I basically like you guys paid me, but then this month it was $195 on top of what I paid for my solar. WTF? Like, I just don't get it.
Huh.
Well,
And we're getting cooler too, which is kind of odd.
I know. Yeah, that's why I was a little confused.
you unfortunately, because of the age of your system, are on a plan that no longer exists. So literally, you have something that is very confusing to understand because you're only allowed to use your peak, the power you generate on peak at the time of peak, the power you generate on off peak at off peak times. You're not able to shift the credits around like with the credit system that they
Yeah,
have now.
that's what they just explained to me. I was kind of butthurt about it.
So literally the benefit of is if you do modify your system by 1 kilowatt, we're
can-
instantly going to put you on a current plan, which will actually make benefits for your old system as well.
So it's almost worth it to pay the dollar amount to modify it.
Yes.
So then we can upgrade. Because I know, tell me a little bit about what's happening specifically in Arizona with the maybe tax credits or the type of credits we get for going solar.
Well, in Arizona, you receive it's actually not great because Arizona, the state of Arizona,
But
compared
everyone's
to
like, oh,
boy.
tax credit, tax credit.
compared to other states like New Mexico, right next to us. New Mexico gives you 10% of the retail value of your solar system
Oh.
towards your system. The state of Arizona gives you $1,000.
Yeah.
Is that a total amount like rebate or is
Yeah,
it?
it's a total rebate of $1,000. Okay.
Per year?
No, one time. So, but the federal government gives you a 30% ITC, which, if properly set up through your tax account, will actually help pay for your system, or at least 30% of it. So, literally, round numbers. If something was $90,000, you're only going to be paying $60,000 of it. The government's going to help you with the rest.
I'm glad you just told me that because I was supposed to do my taxes this morning, but I canceled because I have friends in town.
You know, they were due April 15th, right?
Yeah.
and the company do that same.
We're in October.
I did an extension. I have till October 15th, so there's that, and then
you
I
got 5
canceled.
days.
But maybe I canceled because now I know, because you're educating me now. The 30% ITC, I didn't know anything about this.
And it's one of those things that
Yeah.
adding a new system to your house, you would then qualify for that. People who bought solar 2 years ago only got a 26% tax credit.
Well, but what if I inherited it? Like I
You actually never got a tax credit, so you could actually purchase a new system, get the 30% tax credit, and benefit yourself that way as
so
well.
I won't get a tax credit because I assume the lease.
Well, not on the one that you assume. The problem with the lease is the leasing company got all your benefits. The leasing company literally set themselves up for success and you to be okay.
So what you're telling me is do not lease, purchase.
There are very, very few reasons that anybody should lease.
Is there
Unless
a
you're-
resale market for solar? I mean, is that a thing?
Not yet.
Because like I would assume that having like because Ashley has a Tesla power cell, I would assume at least for that particular product, and you can talk about Tesla in a second if you want.
Yeah.
But because of that particular product, the name branding of it, you would feel that there's somewhat of a resale market in that, or
It's like
No?
it's like the used cell phone market. What's
Yeah.
truly a used cell phone worth? The thing about it is after wear and tear,
Yeah.
after you start having the degradation and everything else,
Yeah.
you want the latest and greatest. I mean, nobody's buying iPhone 8s right now when the iPhone 14's hit.
Yeah, unless they screwed themselves in the past, and that's whole nother story. But what I loved what you said is the leasing company's making it. So I was required to assume the lease because I bought the home.
yeah.
But the way that I can take advantage of it is by calling you and just adding a few more panels. Now I can redo it, modify it, get up to the current discount, and then now write it off. But can I only write off the modification portion or all of it?
Only the add-on system you're
Only
able to write
add-on,
off.
okay.
But the thing about it is it's not just the write-off and the tax side of it. It's being able to actually, because when you set up a lease, the lease was set up to protect the bank. Just no different than a
Yeah.
car.
Oh.
The leases are always set up to protect the third party, not the party actually involved. The bank itself set up this predictive, what they call an escalator. That escalator over time levels out and catches up to what current market value of kilowatts are. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years down the line, it's the same exact price.
Right.
And you never own anything. The difference of it is now you're owning things and you're actually getting all the tax credits. You don't have unpredictability now. Now you have predictability. You know
Yeah.
exactly how much you're paying for power at any given moment.
Yeah, and we're here live with JJ, Our World Energy, talking about solar. If you have any comments, questions, you can drop those in the comment section. We'll address them as we go. We got about 15 more minutes to kind of answer your question. I know Ashley's got like a ton more,
do.
but we're here to provide you information. JJ's here. The thing I admire and like about JJ is that he is here to help you. He's not just here to sell solar panels. I mean, his philosophy is beyond just trying to set you up on an account. It's actually, is this worth your time and effort? let's set it up in the right way. So there's a lot of reasons why JG is here today with us again. So thank you for coming.
Thank you, sir.
It is your term, education, setting expectations of what you're getting yourself into. So, in my opinion, if somebody was about to walk in, like, for example, Robert, if he has questions, a client that has questions, they could call you regardless. Like, you're not here to sell, you're here to educate.
It's the last thing I ever really want to do is sell something.
Right.
And people but you're in a sales organization. Yes. The thing I need to do is educate and provide the proper information so people stop sharing wrong information. The problem of it is that everything based in solar is informational or emotional. They either don't want to make the decision because it's financially binding to something because they're scared of why they would tie themselves to something, or their cousin, uncle, sister's, nephew's roommate, dog told them that solar went wrong with them because they had somebody, like we said last week, they put their greed before that client's need. They were more worried about making a dollar than making a friend and creating a legacy of independence for that person they're putting those panels on the top of their house of. And that's really what it comes down to. If they're more worried about the next dollar, they're in the wrong industry. Go sell a car.
Right.
We literally are servicing the clients with a utility. Water and power are the two things that our houses cannot live without.
Unless you're into like candles and,
Still, you need water and power. I mean, my refrigerator isn't candle operated.
Fair. Wait, one of the monumental things that stood out to me when we first spoke was about, and people might think I'm crazy for saying this, but you said talking about creating like a legacy of your property. Like, we buy properties, and Robert and I talk about this often. Like, I bought my home to leave to my kids in the future and provide them with the best. So my intentions are to stay in that home, despite most people who sell their house after 7.5 years. Like, I want to keep this. I want to make sure it's efficient and create that energy. So tell me a little bit about your theory on the legacy portion.
It's pretty much the same thing. I think of everything even more now that my daughter will be a year next month. Because literally, I can't imagine how much an electric bill is going to be in 25 years. And I have what I call the artist mentality. I want my daughter to be able to stand on the corner of the street and play a violin for a living if she chooses to, not having to worry about how much something's going to cost.
Right.
But right now, if your average electric bill in the State's $300 and in 25 years it's going to be $900, how are you supposed to think about living and enjoying life when all you're doing is thinking about paying a bill? That's not the life that my parents said the golden brick roads of America were going to provide me.
Absolutely. It's one of those things, and I think about this over and over and over and over again continuously. So let's pretend I'm going to purchase a home. So Robert shows me a home. And I'm that person is like, I want energy efficient and I want solar, but I don't have the cash to put it down and I don't want to worry about that. Do you work with mortgage companies and lenders to help them pre-finance the solar on the home, or walk that step?
Here's the craziest side about it. In today's market, where every single rate in the country is going up, ours haven't been affected as much. I still have rates as low as 1.9 that we're financing people for 25 years for. Which
that's really good.
Which literally, I've watched a half a point go up in the last 30 to 60 days versus some people have watched 3 to 5 points go up. But we work with everybody. We're never going to stop. We're never going to get in the way of the mortgage company from doing their process. We'll step back. We'll making sure we don't apply for the credits until it's said and done. But everything about a house is a partnership. The realtor, the mortgage company, ourselves, whatever we have to do to making sure their clients get perfectly taken care of in the way that they need to be, that's all we worry about. But no, we have financing institutions, we have cash programs, we have a lot of different programs that can benefit anybody. And nobody's coming out of pocket with solar, and in a lot of cases, you're not paying for anything for the first 12 months anyway.
Oh, that's nice. So if they do pay cash, do they get a discount?
Yes. Because there are certain avenues of the solar side that involve companies that need to be paid, title companies and things that you start to eliminate some of the fees. So we pass that directly to the client.
Oh, see, I love that. I think that's super awesome. So now I'm the same person. I'm buying this home. I'm not financing it at the purchase. But then, 6 months down the road, I see my neighbor has it. I'm like, oh, I kind of want that too. I call you, but I still don't have cash. There's financing. Could I potentially leverage the equity in my property? Not like a HELOC, not like taking out home equity line of credit. Or is it not even associated with equity in the property?
I tell people HELOCs, reverse mortgages, in any kind of typical lending portfolio that you would typically access, you're not going to touch.
Okay,
Reason
cool.
being is that all of our banks function in a home improvement loan. So the only thing they're going to do is they're not actually locking into a title position. They're applying for a
Yeah.
UCC1, yes. But is a UCC1, as Ashley will be able to tell you, it just sits there in case of any recourse has to happen. And then if any time they're refinancing, they're getting a HELOC, we just have it removed.
So you said UCC1.
Yes.
So this goes into actually one of the first questions I have up here. So now I have title, and I'm in distress, and I don't maybe I'm not able to pay, I have Tesla, and what do I do? So you are the installer. You have a partnership with the bank. I get financed by the bank, and I'm like, crap, I can't do that. It's not like they're going to come to my house and take my solar off. What happens? And I'm bringing this up because our economy is in distress right now with certain things.
Well, the greatest thing about solar is that if we've done it properly, what we've actually done is we've saved you money, so you're actually able to pay more of your bills before. Because if solar is designed correctly, we've reduced your monthly payment for power by 30%, which means you should be able to pay the bill. But in a hypothetical situation, if you could not pay solar, you're not going to lose power. You still have partnership with the grid itself. Literally what happens is the solar system is they're going to come and take their panels back. And then they're going to file a collection on you. Hopefully it never gets to that point. But
okay, so that's what you're talking about. That's why I brought this up, because you said the UCC1, the position.
it is, to them, it's their property. Just no different than a car or anything else that you may have financed.
Okay, that was kind of like where I was going with that.
So there's no tow repo person coming and.
No, they're coming to get the.
Oh no, they're coming.
they're coming, but I've yet to see it really happen. So.
See a tow truck coming up. Oh, here, take your solar. See somebody in a Cardinals hat pulling up.
They would never suspect me. So that goes into my next question. You brought up 30% grid. Cleaning your solar, maintenance of your solar panels. So now we have these solar panels. These are big things on our house. And how can we what's the proper maintenance for them?
Proper maintenance. Everybody will say they're maintenance free, but that's pretty much an urban legend, because let's be real, that if you've got something that's absorbing something, you need to clean it off. Is there a set time how frequent you need to? No. What we tell everybody is if you have access to a hose that can clean them off and hit them whenever you're outside, hit them when they're outside. But there are companies out there that come out and actually do cleaning and proper cleaning, because more than anything else, especially this time of year when we're leaving monsoon season and the hot booze and all the dust, we've got a trail of dust on top of every panel.
It's like,
If you can clean that off and get a little bit more efficiency, hey, and it's not going to cost, I'd say get them cleaned as much as you can.
If I get solar panels from you today, can I get the little pigeon spikes that go on the end so that they don't?
oh yes, I did see those on my neighbor's solar panels.
Oh, that's I was just goofing around.
Actually,
did.
we don't put pigeon spikes because those are inhumane. We actually put bird netting around the sides of the system to making sure birds,
They can't-
squirrels,
yeah.
and chipmunks don't nest underneath it, because the last thing you need is somebody who's not paying rent living on your house.
I was actually looking, no joke, looking at that the other day. So here, one of the gentlemen I was with this morning and had breakfast with, he had mentioned his company. What they do is they have a spray system with what's it called when you shingles, right? Shingles, and they can spray and seal it. And if you have solar panels, how are they going to seal around that? And so when people need to get a new roof replacements, whatever the case may be, what the heck happens?
A couple of things can happen.
Okay.
Any place we put a panel, depending if we have to puncture the roof area, we warranty that it will never leak for 25 years.
Okay.
But if a roof has to be redone, re-laminate, re-rolled, depending on the roof material itself, a lot of roofing companies are actually licensed solar installers these days because they're exposed to this so often.
Yeah.
If
Okay.
not, they just pick up the phone and say, hey, I'm getting my roof redone, and it only happens every once in a while.
Yeah.
So more than anything else, we come out there, we'll move the panels. It's not a big process anymore.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, and that was a big thing. Not that I need a new roof, but that is his company. And I was like, well, what if I need that done? Like, what do I do? Do I call my solar company? I don't know. Like, I started questioning all these things, and it was kind of I want to prepare myself for all of these things that could potentially happen, because we're as an economy, we want to be sold on something, and sometimes we forget to ask the proper questions, and that's why you said when people talk shit about solar, it's because they didn't educate themselves. Their agent didn't educate them. Maybe even the person that's selling them solar just wanted $1 in their pocket, kind of like a used car salesman, right?
You would be
But
amazed.
We have to have the education.
It's because you'll be amazed that a solar consultant functions as a salesperson, a sales manager, finance manager, a general contractor, permit specialist, a psychologist, and so many other
Therapist.
avenues to the client. And it's one of those things, there's going to be things missed in such a transaction where there's so many avenues that you have to travel down. It's impossible to cover everything. But the worst question that will ever be asked is the one we don't get asked. I don't care how dumb the question is to you, because to us, we're asked the question 100 times. It becomes normal. To you, that one little question could make the biggest decision for not only you, but for the person down the street, your neighbor, and everybody else.
What is the most asked question you get?
Oh boy, we tripped you.
I mean, the thing about it is that it's not the most asked question. It's every question has its expectation to that individual person. Like most of it is saying, they'll ask me, what's going to happen in 25 years? And I answer it this way.
You save a shit ton of money?
No, it's even better than that.
I want to predict stocks too. I mean, might as well go with it.
Well, it's the craziest thing. I was like, hey, just ask this question to any power company. I'm going to make you 300 payments consecutive. I'm going to take all your inflation and all your rate hikes. But on the 301st month, I no longer want to pay for my power. And ask what that power company's going to tell you. The difference of it is that in 300 months, they're going to have the same power that they need, but they're no longer going to be obligated to a cost affiliated with it. And that's the most important thing that will ever happen with power. Yeah. I mean, literally, when you all of a sudden have the control of, it was one thing when a farmer could put corn in his field and create corn and feed his family. But now we're creating power to live our life. It's completely different.
Which I love the 20-year, 25-year concept, because with buying a home, people who are learning to leave a legacy, they're not going to have a mortgage payment. They're not going to have power. This place is just going to be a money machine.
Mm-hmm. Well, since we're at the tail end of our show, we have about 2 minutes left. I'm probably not going to get to any of the charting. Save that for next week. So if you guys want to know about the updates on the Phoenix housing market, go ahead and tune in next week around 2 o'clock. If we start on time, that's not a knock to anybody in this room. But I had one question before we go out, and it's something that's very real to me. We've been considering doing solar too because of those concerns, because of projections in the next couple of years. Where's the market going? Are we going to be paying more for utilities, specifically electric? Also, my mind is like water too, because we're on a drought. Who knows if we're going to have water. But one real question for me is I have looked at the Tesla solar panel, and more so for the battery. For the home part of that. Because if, we do run out, if there is an outage and, you can't run electricity all day without some sort of power cell. But you were saying that Tesla is just a name brand that just slap on something that, give me your standpoint on Tesla, and then we'll kind of wrap up a little bit.
Tesla is a great car manufacturer, but more than anything else, they white label. Anybody who knows what white labeling is they take a great product and they slap a Tesla label onto it. We use the exact same panel that they use. Ours, we just actually give Q-Cell of the record.
Yeah.
But then they charge a premium too on top of it, right?
They charge the premium for everything that's involved with Tesla, but then they throw the craziest part. They take away the customer service beside it.
Don't even get me fucking started.
You literally.
She's got a Tesla cell.
That
That's
word
right.
just came out of my mouth because I'm.
You literally have to schedule everything just like their car through their app. And it's if you want anything like a live conversation, you'll never get it.
Nope.
And you'll never actually have somebody that you can call and say, "Hey, what's going on with my system?" They're not there.
It's a nightmare.
So
it's
one of those things that you're almost better served dealing with APS or SRP because at least you can talk to somebody. But it's not they're a bad company. They have great products. I mean, because we offer the same products, but we don't need to put our name on them and say that they're OWEs.
I will tell APS they did a really great job at help facilitating Winter House. If you guys have watched us for a while, caught on fire because of the connection between the two. And then the Tesla guy came out to our house and he really liked us, so he gave us his cell phone number. He probably regrets it, but that's okay. Now I have somebody I can talk to.
Ashley's a little overwhelming at times, I will say.
But you're right. It was aggressively overwhelming, and you don't have an option to change your panels, do you? I have Tesla. I don't have an option to swap.
Only when the lease is up.
All right, see you in 23 years.
I I don't have them yet, so I need to call JJ and set up an appointment. But we're at the tail end of the show, so I'm going to promote a little bit here, if I may, Miss.
Yeah.
Our World Energy. Go to ourworldenergy.com for more information. We did have a different phone number last week, but I think this phone number still works,
That's
right?
fine. That's the main number.
So just call 623-850-5700. Our World Energy. Speak to JJ and talk to him. I think he'll shoot you straight. You know, he's been straight with us and provided a wealth of information. We're probably going to have him back because Ashley loves having him
I
here.
have even more questions. JJ Jenkins in the house.
So go again, ourworldenergy.com for more information and follow JJ. As soon as they get on Facebook, they're working on the Facebook thing. There you go.
Yeah.
Last word, sir. You get the floor.
All you.
No, I appreciate the opportunity more than anything else. Anything I can do, provide any of your listeners, any reviewers, any information to help them out with solar. Like I said, just ask the question. Send it to you all. Send it to me. I'm just here to help.
I appreciate that, sir. Again, thank you for coming in. Thankful for all the things that you brought us, and I can't wait for you to see us at our October event, October 20th. If you haven't purchased your tickets, RCO Network is having their October 20th event here at our studios in our office at 5:30 October 20th. Tickets are down below. There is a coupon code. If you message me today, I will send you that coupon code via iMessenger. I want to say thank you. Oh, here we go. There we go. That's our outro music. So I want to thank everybody for joining us today. If you want information about us, about Our World Energy, go and reach out to us, comment, question, whatever you got. Ashley's here too. So on the behalf of us, Ashley Perkins, JJ, me, got you guys next week.
Did you do?
Thank you.